Hello, Fat Grandma here. Once again, I recorded a whole, I don't know, like 40-minute video yesterday, and I had issues because normally when I record, I have something to do with my hands. I'm showing you guys stuff, or like the last two videos, I was opening those restock boxes, and I talk with my hands a lot when I'm around people. And so when I'm in front of the camera, I was doing a lot of messing with my hair and picking at my clothes. And I noticed a lot of that happening. So I was like, I don't really want to put this on YouTube because people are going to be like, what's wrong with her? On top of the other things that are already wrong with me. But um, those are just, normal wrong with me things. This is like I had some kind of skin condition. So I'm not going to share that video. I look like a mad scientist today. These stupid wispies are just, they won't stay where they're supposed to, and they're driving me nuts. And that's one thing that I did talk about in the video yesterday. I'm going to get my hair cut, and I'm going back to a hairstyle that I wore over 15 years ago, and I had the same haircut for years. I shave from my temples all the way around and down because I hate all this wispy crap on my neck during the summer, especially. It's very annoying. If I pull my hair up, I don't want to feel anything touching my skin on my neck. And I don't know if that's an OCD thing or if that's a just it drives me nuts thing or what, but I can't stand it. And so they shave the underneath, and I used to have it shaved where you could, like, it was almost bald. They didn't use a razor, but they used just the flat head shaver thing without any adjusters on it so that it would leave some hair. So it was down to, almost bald, and it would just, up to just above my ears and all the way around. They trim this crap so that this isn't, I look like, who is that cartoon duck? I don't know. He's he's like the mad scientist duck or something, and yeah, that's what I feel like right now, and with all the stupid wispies in the back. So if I do pick at my hair, that's why it's driving me nuts. And I can't even use clips or anything to keep it up because there's still, I'd have 20 clips in the back of my head. I don't know why my hair is so stupid, but it is. So, and it's naturally curly. You guys haven't seen that because I started doing these videos when it was getting warm, and I just keep my hair up all the time when it's hot outside. So, you haven't seen what my crazy hair looks like when it's down. And when I had it shaved before, it was just so much easier because I can wear it down if I don't want anybody to see the shaved part. And I can pull it up when it's hot during the summer, and then nothing's touching my neck. So I'm going back to that. I don't give a crap if it's a hairstyle that old people shouldn't use or wear or whatever. I don't care. I give to you know what's. It, it's I need to be comfortable, and I'm not. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know when I'm going to go get it done. I still need to join the gym. I haven't gone and done that yet. I've been sidetracked. I had an issue going on with my car, and I bought a new gas cap. A light came on, and it was my check engine light. And I've already been through this twice in the past year and a half, where I spent over $1,000 both times on this piece of crap car that I have. And I can't afford car payments. I mean, when I did the math, I could have made a car payment every month with the amount of money I've spent over the past year and a half. But, you have to come up with a down payment, and then you have to be financially stable enough to get financing. And I haven't had stable income. It's whatever. Anyway, that's another video for some other time when I feel like oversharing, like I did with the Cologuard thing in the last video. Anyway, so yesterday's video, I was talking a lot about some of the YouTubers now are talking about the clothing stock and fast fashion, and how it's more difficult to sell clothing, or it's going to be more difficult because of all the garbage that's being pushed out into the market. And I there was an article in the New York Times about thrifting being dead or something like that, and my take on all of it, just overall, was that I think some of it is like the henny penny thing where the sky is falling, and like, all it takes is one or two people to hone in on an idea, and then suddenly everybody's talking about it, and it's getting beaten with a dead horse all over YouTube or in articles online. And this girl that wrote the article, and this was my biggest issue with that particular article, is the articles that she has always written have been about weather or politics, mostly weather. And I'm like, so what qualifies her to write an article about thrifting? Nothing, other than the fact that she's a journalist and someone probably asked her to write the article or put a bug in her ear so that she would write this particular article. Someone wanted this article written for some reason. And in my brain, and I'm not really a conspiracy theory kind of a person, but if someone's trying to push this idea that it's going to be harder to be a clothing reseller on eBay or Poshmark or wherever, maybe they're trying to push people out of the market, or make people nervous, and I don't know what the agenda is or might be, but I'm taking her, whatever she said in that article, with a grain of salt, because she doesn't write articles about anything but weather and politics, so whatever. And I know that there have been some announcements about retailers starting to sell you know, their their merchandise that isn't pristine quality on eBay, and some of the resellers were concerned about that because, if there's defects or whatever, that's usually the stuff that shows up in the bins or at Salvation Army or at Goodwill or whatever, and or the secondhand, the stores that get that stuff, like the outlet stores where they get the leftovers or whatever. And maybe some people are thrifting this places. Some parts of the country, people are apparently having a hard time finding clothing to list on eBay. And I think part of it has to do with the economy right now and the fact that we're in sort of a recession to a degree. Gas prices have gone down a little bit, so that's a good thing. And I think people don't donate as much when they're uncertain about their finances. So, the donations could have slowed down a little bit. Maybe that's why people aren't finding anything. And what is being donated is garbage, because that's what people were buying when they were shopping online during the pandemic. This is just me thinking maybe that's the case. I don't know. You know, the stuff that's in Goodwill now and the Salvation Army and the different thrift stores is, maybe sparse and more sparse in certain parts of the country. But my whole thing, and this is the point that I was trying to make in the video that I recorded yesterday, is that's one of the reasons that when I go out looking for stuff, or when I buy things on an auction, or when I, happen to run into a yard sale or whatever, which hasn't happened but one time here in Phoenix because it's been hot. So once fall rolls around and it starts to cool down a little bit, then I'll start scoping out the yard sales. But I can't go out when it's 100 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's not happening. So anyway, I went to what I was going to say is, I've tried to get things that I'm interested in to a degree. I don't want to buy stuff that I think, I don't even want to list that. Now, that happened with that restock box. Those 2 restock boxes, there's a bunch of crap in there that I never would have bought if I went to a bin store or if I went thrifting or whatever. I wouldn't have chosen that stuff to put in my eBay store. So that stuff is going to be a pain in the butt to list. I still have only listed a couple of things from those boxes because it all sucks. And I hate to say that, but, and some of it may make me some money, and I hope it does. I hope I at least break even. I think I will on the second box, but I don't know about that first one. That was pretty bad. Um, anyway, I've tried to not pigeonhole myself into just one thing like antiques, because my inner shopper, when I go to the thrift stores and the secondhand places, and when I'm looking at the auctions, I love the really old stuff. The old stuff that some collector, on the East Coast might be looking for, and it's like they're the only person that might be looking for it. I like those things, but I'm realistic, and I know that's stupid to just hone in on that one thing, because I'm hardly ever going to sell anything if I do that. So I try to find things that I think are cute, or I think someone else might also think is cute, or that I like, or I think someone might find useful, or someone else might want. And those are the things that I'm trying to put in my shop so that I have a variety. And the stuff that I'm selling is all over the place. I'm not selling any one thing more than anything else. I'm selling DVDs. I'm selling kids things. I'm selling, these are things that have sold. Collectible fairies. I sold a dish on Poshmark the other day, and it was a really pretty dish, and it's a newer dish. It's just in the past 10 or 15 years, I think, this brand, the dish that I sold was made. So it's more current, but someone may be missing that piece. Maybe they broke theirs. I think the brand name is 222 Fifth or something. I've had a couple of items of that brand, and they're very nice. They're very well made. They're very pretty. They hold up really well, and they're microwavable and dishwasher safe usually. I mean, the two things that I've listed anyway. So I'm picking up my clothes again. Anyway, so my whole point behind the video that I was recording yesterday was for the people who are concerned about the clothing issue and not being able to find things. Maybe, I know that stuff is a faster turnaround. It sells quicker. The clothing moves faster, But on the other hand, it can also come back more often and get returned because it doesn't fit right. The color isn't the same in person as it was in the photos. I mean, there's a bazillion reasons why clothing might get returned. Things that I'm selling would get returned if they don't work, like a DVD. And the DVDs that I've sold have all been new. I have not sold any used DVDs yet. I've got some listed that they haven't sold. So, but I know that all of those do work, or they did the last time, I used them. So, anyway, my point was, if you are just a clothing seller, maybe when you go out to source, or when you're looking at the yard sales and the garage sales and the auctions and things, maybe start looking at some other stuff just to put a variety of things in your store so that you have other things in there aside from just clothes, so that maybe you'll have sales if the clothing isn't selling, I guess is my point. And I know if people are comfortable with that and they know the clothing, and that's what they gravitate toward because it makes quicker money. It's bread and butter. It just they list it and it sells within 2 or 3 months, if that long. Sometimes it's faster than that. And the stuff that I'm buying, sometimes it takes a couple of months, for something to sell. It took 3 months for that tapestry, but it did sell, and I doubled my money on it, so yay. And so there's other things that I've sold that I only listed a month ago, so yeah, it doesn't go out as fast, but at least you have other things in your store that people can buy if the clothing isn't happening. And if you want to keep reselling. And the other thing, if I was a clothing seller, I wouldn't rush to lower my prices right now yet. I'm a cautious kind of a person. I don't react too quick, and I'm not taking everything that, the rumors that are floating around out there about all of this and what's going to happen to resellers and whatnot. You know, be cautious, but I wouldn't jump and make any drastic changes because, and most of you probably aren't if you're even watching this, and if you're new, I would just, maybe not focus on any one particular thing. Like if all you carry is kids' clothing, or all you carry is women's clothing, or whatever, maybe just expand your horizons a little bit so that shoppers who normally wouldn't come to your store might see your stuff if they're looking for something other than clothes. And again, I've hardly been doing this any time at all, but common sense just tells me don't pick just one thing because that's going to get me in trouble. If something happens to that market, or if you can't get supply, then you're screwed. You don't have your one thing that you're selling. If all someone is selling is boxes and bubble wrap, and they're making a buttload of money off of it, and they don't care about liking the product that they sell, they just want to make the money. And there's a lot of people like that, and I don't, begrudge them having their business and doing it that way. I want to like the things that I'm taking photos of, or at least think they're cute, or there has to be some interest there for me to make me want to do this. Um, and, but if you're only selling boxes and you're only selling bubble wrap, and all of a sudden you can't get boxes, what are you going to do? You know, you better be selling something else. Also, maybe in a lesser amount, maybe just ramp that up a little bit. You can't you can't just do one or two things. You've got to broaden it because things can change, and I've got stuff that I know is going to sit in my store for a year before someone happens on it and decides to buy it. If it's some random dish that it's going to take a specific buyer for that particular item. So I know that I have some things that are going to sit for a long time, but I also have some things in my store that I know people, there's a better chance that it might sell within a month, you know. Um, and so that's kind of how I'm doing it. Just, you know, sharing my personal view on all of this. Um, some of the seller videos have mentioned it being good for, uh, eBay coming out with that. And it wasn't eBay, it was all the reselling platforms. The government changed the rule. If you make $600 or more in a year, it has to be reported on a 1099. And so, a lot of sellers are leaving, and some people are saying, well, that's not a bad thing because it leaves more room for, sellers that are going to stick around. And that may be true, but I don't know that many people really. I can't see that being the thing unless somebody just really is anti-paying taxes, or if they're afraid that they're going to get caught doing something they're not supposed to. You know, I can't see that being the thing that stops somebody from reselling if they really enjoy reselling. You know, if somebody's half-assed doing it and they don't really care about reselling and they don't have a ton of stock, and then yeah, maybe they might back out of it. Or if they were already feeling kind of meh about it and they were teetering on whether they wanted to keep reselling or not, then I could see that tipping them over the edge. But if it's someone who really enjoys reselling and who likes going out to hunt for stuff and who enjoys finding bargains and sharing those things with people who maybe don't live in an area where they can get those things, different brands sell in different parts of the country. And so what I find at a thrift store may not be in a thrift store on the East Coast. So if someone's looking for something that sells out here near Arizona or California or whatever, and they're on the East Coast, I would, maybe find those things. And so, you know, if someone really loves reselling and they like what they're doing, I don't think the 1099 thing is going to chase those people off. I think the people that are going to leave are people who don't really enjoy it that much. They were just doing it as a way to make money, or they're burnt out, or they're just tired of doing it, or maybe they've gotten to an age where they just don't want to do it anymore, and it's kind of another reason for them to quit. You know, I don't see someone who really really enjoys it, this being the reason that would be a reason that they would quit. You know, because everybody can figure out their taxes and pay taxes on what they make, and you know, figure out the things that they can use for write-offs, and you know, it's just it's extra work for sure, and who wants to do that? But if you really love doing this, you're going to keep doing it. That's not going to be the thing that stops you. The thing that stops you is going to be not being able to find things to sell. So, you know, that's, I think, the biggest concern for people, and especially right now, that's the word out there, is that the clothing people are having a hard time finding things to sell. But I think it's in certain areas, and I think this fast fashion crap that's going on, I think people are going to realize that this throwaway clothing is just that. You know, I don't think it's going to last for very long when people realize that after they wash something 4 or 5 or 6 times, it falls apart, you know, and they have to go buy another one, or they can't get another one because the company doesn't make those anymore. They're making something else, you know. So I don't know. And I could be completely wrong, and I probably am, but I'm just thinking out loud kind of and sharing it with you guys. I went yesterday because the weather was kind of nice. I'm changing subjects now. I stopped by the post office. I had something to mail out, and then I went to my animal rescue, spay neuter rescue place that has a thrift store, and found some stuff. So I thought I would share a couple things, and I will do that in just a second. I have to get a couple bags out because I don't want to be leaning down grabbing stuff the whole time I'm on video. So I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I changed the lighting a little bit. I have a light over my desk that I had on, and it puts more of a glare on my glasses, so you guys were probably getting blinded in the first part of the video. So sorry, I forgot. And there's still a glare, but I can't go without them because I wouldn't be able to read anything. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys, and when I go to this particular thrift store, I will sometimes buy things or spend a little bit more than I would if I went elsewhere. That's because it is a charity that supports animal rescue and spay and neuter and that kind of stuff. So for me, it's worth it to spend a little bit more because I know it's going for a good cause. So that will explain to you kind of why some of this stuff I spent a little bit more than I would if I went somewhere else. This item, I believe, was $5. And I normally, but how cute is this box? It looks like a hat box, but I've seen them listed as a cheese box or a hat box, and it's wood, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see the little stuff that's on top of this box, but I just thought this was so cute. And you know, I don't know if this was a complete waste of $5, but I think that I should be able to get at least 10 for this. I'm hoping. Almost dropped it. That would be bad. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not worth anything. I may end up keeping it and just use it for storing some stuff in. But I thought that this was very, very cute. And it's kind of a blue-gray. There's some fuzzies on it. I'm going to have to pick off of it before I take photos. But anyway, I just thought this was really cute. And again, it was half. Oh, that's the other thing. When I do go look for things, I only go on the days when everything is 50% off, or most of the time. That's when I try to go, is when it's half off day. Um, because I'm still there to support the animals, but I need to save money where I can. Because if things aren't good, because that may only sell for $8, and then I'm just going to break even, you know. So I haven't really looked at any comps for that box, that half box cheese box, and so I don't know yet what that's going to be worth. If I get a chance, I will post prices up in the corner if I get a chance while I'm editing this to pull numbers. The other thing I picked up, they had a person that had donated a whole bunch of Disney stuff, so I picked up some Disney things, and these are little golden books. Now I know that these don't go for very much, but this one, no, this one in the front, I think is a second edition. And I know the first editions are the ones that people really look for. This is a second printing. And these are all from 1979. So they aren't that old, but there's, you know, they're in really pretty good shape for the age. Bambi, Dumbo, and Winnie the Pooh meets Gopher. So all of the spines are in good shape. Everything's intact. There's no that I have to flip through each page, but I didn't see any. You know, sometimes kids take crayons to things. I didn't see any of that in these books, but there could be a crayon in here somewhere that happened that I missed. So we'll see what happens with those. I think I spent about 50 cents a piece on these. I'm not sure, but I think they might have been 50 cents each. I know I didn't spend any more than that. All of the stuff that I got, everything that I'm going to show you guys, the total was like $40 for everything. So, you know, we'll see. This was just a bag of little Disney, they're vintage Christmas toys. They're all Christmas, and some of them have stands on the bottom, but you can tell they're older toys. I have no idea. They're probably also from the 70s, I'm going to guess, maybe the 80s. I haven't looked at the bottom of any of them. I think sometimes they have dates on them. So I will find out when I do some research on these, but I thought they were super cute. And they're in really pretty good shape. They're not beat up too bad, but they do look older. You know, at least around the time that my kids were little, and that was the early 80s. And that's just a guess. They could be something newer that was made to look vintage. I don't know, but I'll find out when I hunt for prices. So I think that's all I'm putting back in there. Oh, okay, so I saw these stuffed dolls, plush, and I was like, ooh, yay, those will probably be worth at least $20, you know, because they look super vintage. But this Minnie, she's got a plastic face, plastic hands, and plastic feet, and the tag is still on her, but it's really, really old and faded, and her dress is even kind of faded. I researched, and it looks like she's worth about $10. And I think I paid $1.50 for her, but I think this particular one is selling for around 10. Not positive, but I think that's what I saw. So there's that. I thought this guy was older than he is. So it's a Mickey, and he's very fuzzy. His nose is mush, so he has a nose issue. It's not coming off, and it's not loose. It just he was packed in something probably. He's in pretty good shape. His pants even still have the little snap on the back, and he doesn't have any holes or anything. That's not a hole, it's a fuzzy. Anyway, I thought this guy, because it's made in, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read this or not, Walt Disney characters, and it was, this plush was actually made in California. And most of the Disney stuff that we see now is made in China or Indonesia or some other country. And I thought, in looking at this, and I couldn't get on my phone to do comps or see how much this might be worth. I thought that this particular doll, because it looked so old, I thought maybe it was from the 50s, but it's not. It's from like the late 60s. And, you know, I thought maybe it would be worth at least 30, but it looks like this one is also worth around $10. This one I paid $3 for. So, um, paid more than I would have normally paid, and because for this size plush I wouldn't normally spend $3, but I thought it might be worth more. My intuition on this was way off. It's not. So if you see old vintage Disney stuff, try to make sure you can use Google Lens and check eBay for prices to comp, because some of it's very misleading. This guy is in mint condition. Still has his tags. And it's a Gund. And he talks and tells the Night Before Christmas story. And his mouth moves. And I'll do it, but I don't want it to, it might be, I don't know how loud this is going to be. I'll just do it for a second.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Anyway, he goes through the whole first part of the story. And he is in just like new condition. And I don't know if I'll list him that way. I only found one other version of this bear with this red cover on the book. Most of them that are listed have a green cover on the book, and it doesn't say 'Twas the Night Before Christmas on the book. They're just plain. And I think I only found one other that had this, but and I thought, well, he's got to be worth at least $20. I don't know if he's going to sell for that much. So, I'll look at the comps again, but I think pulling this up, he doesn't sell for as much as I thought he might. Maybe in this condition, because he is like new. There is nothing about him that says anyone ever played with him. And he's still got his tags on his ears, so, I don't know. And there's a price tag on him. He was $40, brand new. So, there's still a price tag on here. I don't know what store this is from. It says non-foods. He may have been sold at Safeway. My mother used to be the non-foods, dry goods, whatever you want to call it, manager at a Safeway, and all of their price tags back before they used just the SKUs, all of them said non-foods on them. So he could have been sold at Safeway or another grocery store that carried variety items around Christmas time, because I know that sometimes they would carry dishes, and it wasn't just groceries. They would have end caps with big displays. Some merchandisers would come in and they'd, sell a bunch of stuff like this at Christmas time. So, anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I'm going to do my vape. This is something I'm going to talk about in one of my videos. And, maybe if there are smokers out there who are older like me and they've been smoking for a long time, and they've tried to quit but they couldn't, and this is the only thing that worked for me. So, and yes, I still have nicotine, blah, 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 whatever. I would never have quit smoking. I would have either died from it or done it until I croaked at a normal age, had I not found vaping. That's the only thing that, at least I don't stink anymore. This may be just as bad for me. I don't know. I don't think it is. There aren't nearly as many chemicals in vape juice as there are in cigarettes. But the only thing I'm getting that's bad from this really is the nicotine. And there's nicotine in eggplants. So whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it that much. Okay, I'm gonna grab another bag. Okay, I'm back. I got another pile of stuff. Um, these, I believe I paid $3 for the larger ones, which is way more than I would have spent, again, elsewhere, but he is still in the original Burger King packaging, Woody. I got Woody, I got Rex, and he's a little hand puppet. There's a way to put your hand up in him to make him move around and stuff. So there's Rex, and Buzz, if you're going to be able to see him. And these are the bigger ones. These are not tiny. I did get some tiny ones too. And Ham. I saw these and I was like, I have to get them. I don't know if I'll make any money on them at all. I suspect I might make some. I don't think it's going to be a lot, but there's going to be someone out there that will want these, I believe. That's what I want to tell myself. So that's what I'm telling myself. Someone will want these. Okay, these are all sealed except for Rex. Someone tore him open. And I have a feeling it was someone at the thrift store, because the rest of them have not been opened, and I can't imagine the person that owned these and donated them ripping one of them open when they were all closed. So there's one, yeah, there's a document missing out of this plastic. But this one's Rex, and he's the little guy. These are the little ones, the smaller ones. And there's Woody. And again, these were $1.50 a piece. I love these. And I love the Toy Story movies. So there's going to be someone else out there that likes these too, and they'll want these. So there's Mr. Potato Head. And again, these are still in the sealed packages. There's the Army Men. I bought all of the ones they had. Everything that was in that basket. I was like, mine. So I didn't leave anything for anybody else. I was stingy yesterday. And it was weird. I went in the afternoon. Well, let me finish showing you. And there's Buzz. They didn't have Ham, but they did have Mr. Potato Head in the smaller ones. So that's that bag. And so here's the thing about me going yesterday. I went later in the afternoon to the post office. Normally I go around 10 in the morning, but I don't know what I was doing. I had to go get my car checked. So I went to do the car thing, or no, that was this morning. I've lost track of time. Anyway, I don't know what I was doing yesterday, but I didn't get out until after 1 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. So I went to the post office to drop off an item that I sold, and then I thought, well, I haven't been to my little thrift store in a long time. It seems like a long time. It's actually been probably a month, but that seems like a long time, month and a half. So I drove there. Gas went down a little bit, so that was good, and filled up the car, and then I drove to the thrift store, and I thought, they're probably going to be all picked over because I'm going in the afternoon, and most people, if they're going to thrift, they go in the morning. And when I got there, I was surprised those, and maybe it's because they're not worth anything, I was surprised that those Burger King toys were still there in the condition that they're in, because they're new. I mean, they're not new, but they've never been used or played with or anything. They've been in their packaging, and you can tell. Like, from day one, the people brought them home, and no one ever played with them. No one did anything with them. So, anyway, I've got just one other container of stuff to show you guys, and that'll be it. So I'm going to pause this again so I can grab more stuff. Okay, so I only have 2 other things left to show you. I thought there was more for some reason, but anyway, the first thing is, and I paid $3 for this. I just fell in love with this when I saw it. I would never use it, but somebody might. This there's a tag on it. I didn't even look at that, but it's got a liner, and it's, I believe this is for a pie. Again, I'm not, somebody who's very homemaker, not a homemaker type. Um, I've never been much of a baker or done any of that, but I just thought this was the cutest thing. And it's, um, oh, it looks like there's no, it just says made in China. Um, but I love this box, and I know it's not a hat box. It's got to be a pie, to carry a pie, like to a picnic or whatever. This is really well made. This lid is very sturdy, and the liner is in like very, very good condition. So I don't know what this will sell for. I would imagine you could get around $10 for something like this, at least. And I could be wrong, I could be way off, but I, if I was the kind of person that baked pies and I was going to take one to a function where everybody's bringing stuff, and I was going to put it in something, this would be perfect, first of all, and I would pay $10 for something like this. I would probably pay $20 for something like this, but I don't know. I have no idea what this is worth, but I thought it was really, really cute, and it's in very good condition, and it's just adorable. So, we'll see. I'll see if I can find anything comparable on eBay and share that at the end of the video. It's going to crunch because I have to sit this down there. I don't want it to break. Okay, the last thing I got was a set of, I think there's 6 dishes total, and I'm just going to show you one of them because I don't want to take the whole thing apart. They packed one separate, but they're all the same, and oh, come on. Here we go with the dishes again. This is my problem. I have a weakness for China and things that break when you ship them. I don't know what my problem is. I really can't explain it. I don't know what brand this is. I will get a photo of it. It's just not going to focus on this. I can't. Oh, it's Noritake. Okay. Noritake, China. There's probably a pattern name on this, but how pretty is that? All the little bowls, there's 6 of them. They're all the same. I don't know the name of this pattern, but I just thought it was really pretty, and there might be someone out there looking for replacements, which is why I buy these kind of things. If I find random dishes, they're just a couple or a handful of them of a specific pattern, if the price is right, I will buy them because, and I think I paid $3 for all 6 of these. So, that works out to 50 cents a piece. I'm pretty sure I can sell them for more than that, so I will look up the name on these. They don't sell for much usually, but if you have a little group of them and somebody needs 2, or maybe they need all 6, then they work great for replacements. So I will snag things like this. It's like that dish that I sold. That's why I went to the post office yesterday. I sold it on Poshmark. I'll post a photo of it up here in the corner. It was really pretty serving dish, and it was autumn print, an autumn print pattern, and the colors were very vibrant. And I bought it because I was like, this is so pretty, someone's bound to want this. And I think I had it listed for about a month and a half, and it sold. And I paid $4 for it, and I sold it for $25. So, not bad. To me, that's not bad. There's probably sellers out there that spend $4 on something and they, make $50. I don't know. But for me, I was, woohoo, I sold it, and I made a really good, I quadrupled my, even after fees and stuff, I quadrupled my investment. So I'm fine with that. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. This is probably the shortest video I've done in a long time. I usually get going and I don't shut up. So I just thought I would share real quick the stuff that I picked up. if anyone's watching this and you see something in my videos that you don't find in my eBay store or on Poshmark, um, leave me a comment, or go to my Facebook and find me there because I have a link in my YouTube for my Facebook, Fat Grandma Finds on Facebook, and send me a message there if you're interested in one of the items that I show, because sometimes I'll show you guys things that I don't get them listed. I know other sellers do it reverse. They usually list everything and then they show you what they got, but I don't do that. I get too excited and I'm like, I want to show everybody. And so so I show you guys, and then things get listed as I get interested in either looking up the information for them, or when I take a batch of photos, because usually when I do my photos, I take a whole bunch all at once, like 100 photos of many different things, because because I'm limited on space here, I don't have an area where is designated for my photos, for me to take photos. That box up there on top of that cabinet is my light box. That is what I use for items that aren't bigger, that are just small enough to fit in that box, and you really can't see the whole thing. I don't know if I'll be able to show you. There. It's not super tall. Oh good, now I've got the camera pointed up too much. Anyway, so I have to take that down, plug it in, get it all set up, and then I can take photos in that box. Or if it's too big for that box, I have that lamp back there, and I've taken some of the shades off of a couple of the bulbs so that they're just white, and I have a white sheet that I throw up against my headboard, and I have cardboard that I put underneath it so that the bottom is flat, it's not lumpy on my bed, and I sit things on that with the white sheet in the background for larger items. Sometimes the colors still don't look quite right, even though I only have the white light bulbs turned on, but I think it's because of the reflection from that wall. My mom's got paneling on that wall, and it gives kind of a yellow tint to things. Sometimes I can adjust the coloring in Photoshop, but other times it just doesn't look quite right. So if the colors don't look right on my stuff, that's why. I can't take things outside to take photos, and there's nowhere in the house where I could set up a photo area. She's got stuff in all the rooms. We've had that discussion in another video. So anyway, that's it for this time, and just shoot me a message if you guys see something you want or you're interested in, and I'll get it listed faster. I won't drag my feet on it and wait until I feel like taking a bunch of photos. All right, you guys have a great weekend, and it's Friday night, so I will see you next time. Bye.